Evening, folks. Welcome back to the Man United agenda. And things can only get better, eh? Hello, people. Welcome back. We did do a little stream a little bit earlier on, me and Monday and Brush, around the absolute nonsense of Ronaldo leaving. Monday is joining me again. So big up, Monday. How you doing, bro? You okay?
Yeah, good, thanks. Great to be joined again by yourself. And we got two new guests to add to the excitement here. So, yeah, it's all popping off right now, isn't it? We're going to change our tune. I'm still going to play my same tune, but we've got a few extra band members as well.
In a different key. I think Amonda's going to play the same tune, but in a different key. We've also got Matthew Bassett in the house. How you doing, Matthew?
I'm all good, thanks. How's everyone?
All good, my friend. Thank you for asking.
Good.
And we've got Pat Lawless all the way from the Emerald Isle. How are you doing, Pat?
How are you, lads? Okay. I couldn't resist coming on. I don't know whether I'm frustrated. I don't know. I'm annoyed. We have to talk about this. I need to get it out there, lads. Let's get talking. We have more information. This has blown up since I watched your stream earlier on. It was like a little candle earlier on. Now it's like a bonfire. I can't believe it.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. I like it. I do like it. It is starting to get a little bit out of control. I know we don't need to sort of, add to the panic and everything else, but we do need to keep on top of everything that is being reported by the top journalists, folks, because that's what we do. We are a channel that keeps Man United fans updated as to what's going on. We won't ever give you any kind of false news or fake news or clickbaity stuff. We're only going off what top journalists are reporting. And so going off what was streamed earlier in terms of Cristiano Ronaldo, I suppose we'll get into that one first because that was where we left off. So that makes sense. So as you all no doubt, whoever did watch the stream or if you went back and watch it, you can watch it after this. The rumours are Ronaldo wants to leave and, a Champions League and everything else. Since then, it's been kind of backed up by the bigger journalists. So David Ornstein, Fabrizio Romano, and other places. And now we've got a little bit of more text to read out to you. So Man United state that Cristiano Ronaldo is not for sale in light of recent reports. The Portugal international believes he has 3 or 4 years left at the highest level of the game, states the Times, and wants to spend that time with a team that is competitive in the Champions League. In response to this, Man United have stated that Ronaldo is not for sale this summer and remains under contract with the Red Devils for another year. And that's coming from David Ornstein. Whether United stand firm on this viewpoint towards Ronaldo is yet to be seen, especially if a significant bid comes their way over the next few weeks. Ronaldo's current attributes don't necessarily match the style of football Erik ten Hag will want to play next season at Old Trafford, but the striker is more than good enough to adapt should the Dutchman find a use for him next season. Right, there's a little bit of something, a little bit awry there in terms of the text that I've put in. But anyway, you can get the gist of it, folks. You can get the gist of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to the panel now and just sort of get some feedback on this statement. So I'll go to Pat. What do you think of this? What are you making of this?
The first thing that springs to mind there after what you read out is, what are we going to do if he's kept there at his own will? Okay. How is he going to react to that? Is he going to be professional? Is he going to try to rattle around a pram? Is he going to hang around till January and he's going to go in anyway? Or do we stick our feet firmly on the ground and say, listen, Cristiano, you can go, but you're not going till January. You've left it too late. You could have told us this earlier. And now you kind of have us in disarray. This is like walking away from a bride on the altar, lads. What is he doing?
Yeah. I mean, it's a very unusual and kind of, out of the blue. But I mean, I suppose I'll come to Omondi in a moment. But I'm just going to say maybe, just maybe, is this something that we should have kind of smelt and seen coming a little bit in the season when the remarks were made that he wants Champions League? So do you want to carry on from that on Monday?
Well, he's a champion player, that's for sure, and he does want to play the highest stage. And I understand his sentiments of wanting to play Champions League football in the closing stages of his career. He doesn't want it to peter out playing sort of Europa League, something he hasn't done. When you look at the stats, I think since he left Sporting Lisbon, it's been 19 years consecutively he's been playing in the Champions League, and rightly so, because he's that sort of player. But that's one reason I can accept and understand. it's our failings as a team, not just I'm not picking up players, as a team last year and as a club mainly, that we didn't get Champions League football. And I don't know if there's anything in the contract, but he came to us on a 2-year contract. He should really honour it. And there's a balance here, an argument. So granted, he wants Champions League football. That's his selfish feeling. Doesn't want to have a year without that kind of thing. He wants to remain at a high level, that kind of thing. But he's come to a club that's in transition. And he was part of the club, even though he done really well, probably my player of the year. He was part of the club that failed to get the Champions League. So sometimes you have to take some responsibility and say, right, I'm part of this. I'm going to dig in with you boys and get you back in the Champions League. And then my contract runs out and then I can leave, you know. But you have to get the balance right. But I would say this, Talk, and like what you were saying, Pat, this was said a long time ago. We heard rumours about if we don't get Champions League, the jokes were, he won't play in Europa League, will he? That kind of thing. That's been going on since January and beyond, since there's been a question mark about us making it. So this ain't news, but what is news to me, and what's a bit of a shock, because I dismissed it earlier solely because of the credibility of the sources that were coming out, but now we've got credible sources. My question, as Pat Lawless was saying backstage, is why now? Wouldn't you, like, if you respect the club, plan it better and just say, look, boys, we just finished the season, or we just realised we're not getting in the top 4. I want out. Can we start arranging that now so you can prepare your pre-season and your transfers without knowing, in the knowledge that I won't be around? So I don't know if that's been done publicly. We don't know. Behind the scenes, we don't know either. But that's my question mark about it. So I understand in one sense, and I want to give him a slap for also saying you were part of it last year, why we didn't get into the top 4.
Yeah, well said. Matthew, what's your sort of angle on this? Do you agree with what's being said there?
Well, it's funny that we have looked at a striker this year. Now, we know that there's a striker on the list. Maybe some has been said behind the scenes before, and it's only just reached the journalist and only just come out. As for Ronaldo, if he wants to go, let him go. We're Man United. At the end of the day, players come and go. A lot of the times, when players want to go, we just say, move them on. But for some reason, with Ronaldo, we're sitting there going, no, we must keep him. But what do we want to keep a player against his will? Hasn't that been one of the problems we've had over the past few years, keeping players against their will, that don't want to be here?
Dead right, Matt.
Yeah.
Let him go. Go get a striker. Change the system slightly. Whatever. We move on.
I totally agree with Matt, lads. But what has me more frustrated is the fact that this has been let go so far with both parties involved, Manchester United and let's call it Team Ronaldo, because he has his agents involved as well. So why has this been let go? It's like, talk about sweeping it under the rug, Manchester United again. Is it because they didn't want to deal with it? Is they afraid, he might be okay, we'll leave it, we'll see what happens. And what's the worst he can do? Turn around, said he wants to leave 10 days before our first pre-season game. This is a disaster, lads.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. But I just want to come back to this, and let me just go back to that. So, 37-year-old's current attributes don't necessarily match the style of football Erik ten Hag will want to play next season at Old Trafford. Now, this is from David Ornstein. Did we not speak about this on Monday at some point? Did we ask that question? Will he be able to fit in? I think we did, didn't we?
Look, that's the part I've actually made a note of that. I said attributes don't necessarily match the style of footy. I'm thinking, what attributes here? What, finishing his dinner and being one of the best finishers in world football still to this day? You know, you put him in that box and you do drills like crossing drills, through ball drills, shooting drills. He will be out spank everybody out there easily. He's left foot, right foot header, volley. He's got it all in his locker, so he can do all that. So I don't see. And if you ask him to do a job about adapting to the system, I mean, come on, this is Ronaldo you're talking about, who's more experienced than all of the squad put together, in my opinion, with what he's experienced with under different managers, Mourinho, Zidane, his time at Real Madrid, 5 Champions Leagues or whatever he's won, you know, his time under Ferguson as well. He's gone through maybe 2 generations of football. So if anyone would know how to, If anyone needs to adapt, it's players like Rashford and Martial. That's why we did shows on certain players. Can they adapt to the system? Ronaldo, there's no question mark in my eyes. That statement just doesn't make sense to me. I think he would strive under this system, especially now we have more control, as we were saying earlier, and more possession and more chances being created in a system which he would be used to. All right, this guy's got the ball. I know what happens next. Let me get myself in the box, and I'm going to bury this. That's how it would be. And I would be savouring the opportunity if I was Ronaldo to bang goals in that system. Go somewhere else and under new management where there could be another striker there already. I mean, we have to look at the options. What are the options for him? What other clubs would he go to right now? What clubs can afford him? What clubs have already got a player in there that's going to have their nose turned up by this guy walking in and obviously demanding first team football? There's so many factors here which suggest to me I'm still a bit doubtful that he's going to leave.
Well, sorry, Pat. I'm just going to say there's rumours of Napoli and Bayern Munich, which we'll get to and discuss. But I just want to ask another question here. Do you think there's some, personal reasons also, like in his immediate family, i.e. his wife, and whatnot, not being happy in Manchester with everything that's gone on as well, with the recent loss of a child, which is absolutely terrible. It's sometimes, as a family, you just want to move away from, areas where things happen and just sort of move on and make a new start, etc. Do you think there's some of that at play as well here going on?
There could be, Tuck. And that could easily happen. But as I sit here and think about it in hindsight, this man has 1 year left in his contract. If he wants to go to a Champions League playing team, he's probably not going to be able to play every single game, but he will be playing majority of the games. And who would he go to? Ancelotti's still at Real Madrid. Why wouldn't he go there for 1 more year? I'm sure they could afford him.
Well,
they have a team. They have a team built already with players around them like Benzema and Modric who are coming towards the end of their career. Could you imagine slotting Ronaldo in there for 1 more season? They'd be a force next year. They certainly would.
It's an option. I mean, that's sorry to quick up, but that is a good point. And yeah, they could afford the wages and even whatever the transfer fee would be. I don't know. That's not going to be much, is it?
It just transfer and wages don't come into it. When you sign Cristiano Ronaldo, you sign a brand that's going to make you that money back before you even come into anything else. You think about this for a second. Cristiano Ronaldo going back to Real Madrid for the last year of his contract. The jerseys alone would pay for any money, any acquisition. Let's put all that aside. Him going back to Real Madrid would pay for that straight away. And he's going to be in there for 1 more season. And yeah, it just kind of hit me like a lightning bolt as I was sitting there going, it just makes perfect sense, doesn't it? Really.
It's something to ponder that. So what Omondi and Matty, what do you think of that? What I said about the family issues and everything that's gone on, in the life of Cristiano Ronaldo and his wife just recently, whilst he's been at Manchester United, and also the fact leading on as well from what Pat's just said about the Real Madrid connection. Do you think that's a possibility?
Matty?
Possibly, with the family issues. Might want to move away, fresh start with the family elsewhere. Now, obviously, bad memories now in Manchester with the tragic death of the son. I think he might go Bayern Munich. He's won the league in England. He's won it in Spain. He's won it in Italy. Imagine he goes to Bayern Munich, wins it in Germany. The legacy that leaves him. As well as that, Bayern Munich are going to lose Lewandowski because he wants to go Barca. Yeah, so Ronaldo replaces Robert Lewandowski at Bayern Munich. He wins the league in Germany.
But it's the whole point of him not leaving, Matty, to go and get Champions League football, to see if he can win it one last time. And no disrespect to Bayern Munich, they are a class team, but they're not exactly hitting the heights they were hitting a few years ago where you'd look at that team and go, yep, they're going to do it next year.
They're not, but that Real Madrid team is out, and that Bayern Munich team is still pretty young, and they've just signed some good young players. Ryan Gravenberch, very good young player, and they've got some good young players coming through. Musalia, very good young player coming through.
I mean, what I'm going to say here now is, before I come to you on Monday, it's just what I think you mentioned this earlier on Monday about the Messi and Ronaldo, the battle between them two being over. Was it you or was it Brush?
It was me.
Was it you? Yeah.
I'll take credit.
So,
Yeah.
do you think? Yeah. Do you think that he maybe doesn't want the blemish of a Europa League because as Messi hasn't got one, has he?
Yeah, that's granted. Messi hasn't got one, but he's playing in Paris. If people make this argument, it's like trumping each other, isn't it? Oh, Messi's never played outside of Barcelona. Ronaldo's better. He's played in different leagues. That's what makes him better. Messi goes to Paris or plays to a different league. Oh, Ronaldo's never played in a Europa League. Well, it's like playing Trump. Well, who can trump each other? They've had this battle, which is great. We've lived in an era where we've seen some great numbers by these guys, and it's been fantastic. They pushed each other all the way. I really like that sort of competition. But really and truly, when you're talking about, I remember when I was in school and I didn't do my homework, I'd make an excuse. All right, I used that one today. The dog ate the homework. The next day, it'd be like, oh, got to think of something else. Oh, the bus was late. There was a bus strike. You know, you see what I'm saying? So I'm thinking, when you asked about the reason, you're talking about family. Could it be his wife in his ear or something like that? I doubt that very much. I think Ronaldo runs things. He's the man. He's the one making a living. He should have the final say. The man is the head of the house. He should know exactly what's going on and where he wants to be. And I think as Bath Time really put in my head a long time ago, saying Bath Time said to me once that the English schooling system is much better. This is why a lot of players want to stay over here and use the English schooling system, which is great for education for your kids. You know, so there's a lot of we might think, oh God, Manchester's cold or whatever, but there's a lot of positive factors that we don't really tend to think of about staying in England. And I don't think that's the case about the family. I do think it was credible for me. What makes sense is the Champions League thing, but strictly because he wants to maybe play at a higher level. Or I was looking at his stats the other day, maybe 180 games in the Champions League, 140 odd goals. He's well clear of everyone else. But he knows with Haaland, with his record and his age, that could be broken in 10 years' time. And he also knows with Messi, if he plays a bit higher forward and Paris starts to step it up, he could also surpass him as well. So maybe he wants to secure legacy. Maybe it's a legacy thing for him. Who knows? I'm just putting question marks out there. So the only thing I can speculate about. But like I said earlier, granted, if he wants to leave, as everyone says here, he has my blessing. He's been a great player. I understand why he wants to leave, and it would also be, once again, it would be a kick up the backside to Man United to say, look, you know, these guys come along at a time when we came second, and we got Jadon Sancho, and we got Varane, Champions League Varane, as they call it, and we were expected now to push on and remain in the Champions League. It all went pear-shaped, didn't it? And that was down to, in my opinion, the management and the structure and the running of the club. We've sorted that now. Or we've actually had to change that because of what happened. And the sacrifices, there'll be consequences and repercussions for that. And one of them is now that we've got a player like Ronaldo who wants to leave. And I accept that. But then, you see what I'm saying? So sometimes when you lose, you really win in a way. So we've lost Ronaldo, but we've really won. And we've lost Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who we've got sentimental feeling for and everything else. But really, we're winning because it's like Matty said earlier, it's about the club overall. We're bigger than that. We still got to move on. 20 years' time, all of this will be in the past. And let's build on what we got now, which is a great manager, a great coaching system. And all we have to do now is struggle to find someone who can finish the dinner. And that's going to be nothing.
Get your boots on, Monday.
Yeah. Do you know?
And you, Pat.
What you said there, right? I agree with some of it, and I disagree with other parts of it. I think that the fact that the family side of it, I think that could be a deciding factor also. But I get what you're saying about the schools thing and everything else. And when you actually say that, the only other avenue here then is because of the fact that Jorg Mendes went and met with Ted Burley from Chelsea. That's the only other connection I can make then if he wants to stay in the Premier League. Manchester City and surely they're not going to be interested in him right now because of what they've bought. Chelsea have lost Lukaku on loan. You know, they tried, I think, with the in for Richarlison, but that way he went to Tottenham. Now, this could be something. There could be some weight in this Chelsea link. You know,
no,
I mean,
no way.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm just putting it out there. What do you think of that?
Look, let me just add to it. If he goes to Chelsea, that's like effing you, not even kissing you. That's all I'm gonna leave it at that. That's the wrong move.
Yeah.
If he goes now, like he said he was going. I'm going back to what Amondi said earlier. He said he was going to go or he was thinking about leaving. How many months ago was that? 2 months ago, 3 months ago? And we all put it down to Ronaldo using his power to give the club a kick up the backside to get some signings in. And we were all like, oh, yeah, that's what Ronaldo's doing. But now here we are a couple of weeks later, and he's actually saying, no, I actually do want to leave. So I'm taking the emotion out of it now. If Ronaldo wants to go, he wants to spend the last year of his contract with somebody where he thinks he's going to win something. Fair enough. Off you go, Cristiano. You've been a good servant. But that doesn't take away the fact that I'm actually really annoyed at the club now because they've let it go this far. This is what part I'm annoyed about.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting point you make there. And when as you've mentioned it, we need to then now obviously then think about, okay, if we are going to lose him, first question, can Erik ten Hag's system work without Cristiano Ronaldo? Can he make it work with what we've got if we don't sign another striker? So what do you think of that?
Can he? Yeah, he could. You know, this fella could make spaghetti bolognese out of a can of beans, I'd say.
I like your confidence, Pat. Explain.
We have
man.
Okay, well, look, this is taken into. We had a little mini discussion earlier on before we came on. Could it be a possibility that if we don't sign a striker and we do get Frenkie de Jong, could we go with a 5-man midfield or play with the likes of Bruno or Donny further forward? Is that a possibility? Do we have to change our tune now and try and sign a different kind of midfielder if that's the case? Or are we banking on we have to get de Jong and Eriksen in now for that to even work at a minimum?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you make of that,
I've thought about this false 9 because Eric used Tatters as a false 9, didn't he? Not last season, the season before they got Hada. I think we can use Bruno as a false 9, bring him in, especially if we can't get a striker. And I've had a look on the market, realistically who's available. There's no one out there. I know there's a few free agents, and I've said about the free agents, the likes of Bellotti. Osimhen, £100 million. We're not paying that. I'm not sure what Martinez is. Lewandowski's Barcelona. There's not really many major options for that striker role. So I don't know why we don't go with a false 9 and adapt the system up until there is a good young forward that we can bring in at a good value.
That's true. It would be a panic buy if we tried to get a striker now. Do you think?
Yeah, totally.
I think I'm going to ask you on Monday then. I'll just throw a name out there. The only name that makes any sense to me right now in terms of replacing Ronaldo would be Bellotti, given the circumstances. What do you make of that?
Belletti from Torino.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a
free agent.
Stronger, yeah. But 2 question marks with him. He's been at Torino for years. Why haven't the other clubs signed him up? That's always been a question mark for me. I remember one season he scored a lot of goals. And it's like, oh, okay, Belletti's the top guy. He's going to be there. I've watched him for Italy. Haven't watched him much for Torino, granted. I watched him for Italy. He's still not like a first starter for Italy either. Strong, could be suited to the Premiership, but you're talking to clubs like Southampton and Leicester, not Man United, in my opinion. Just average pace, good hold-up play, just good all-round player, but not outstanding. But if you want someone to finish things, then maybe he could do a job. But I think you can look closer to home for players like that. In as we mentioned earlier, with who's the boy from Southampton who was at Liverpool, at Burnley. The name goes. He's at Aston Villa now. Ings, yeah, someone like that. Because remember they've gone down to the Championship before and got players like Ollie Watkins who can finish, good movement, can finish his dinner plenty of times. But going back to that point that you were saying about changing the system, if there's one manager or coach, he's going to get paid now to do his job, because whereas before he might be thinking, right, I've got an out-and-out striker. Now he might have to adapt and bring a false 9 in or something. Someone mentioned earlier about Dybala, who wouldn't be an out-and-out replacement. He plays a lot deeper, but he could be very influential, bringing defenders forward or coming deep and open things up, creating spaces in behind, that kind of thing. I remember Louis van Gaal, and I'm going to compare the two because they're Dutch and they do also use the Cruyff system. But his 1995 team, Ajax team, that won the Champions League and went unbeaten in the league and in the Champions League. No other team's ever done that before. When they won the Champions League in '95, it was just outstanding for a team that only had like Danny Bling's son or Danny Bling's dad, or say his name was Danny Bling, wasn't it? his dad, and Rijkaard, and a couple, all the other players were really young. And what they did, they had Ronald de Boer playing higher up as a central, but he would come deep and draw defenders out. And then he had Overmars and Finidi George winging and getting in behind players. So they build up with class players, Seedorf and David in midfield. They had Yari Littman as well up there, who was in and out and thing. But there's no out and out real centre forward. So I reckon we can adopt that system. Matty made a great point about Bruno playing in that position. I always think Donny van der Beek brilliant with his movement off the ball, getting into the box late. He's fantastic like that, and that's how he scored a lot of his goals in that great run when they got to semi-final against Spurs in the Champions League as well. So I do think the coach now will be licking his lips and saying, all right, let me see what I got here. What can I cook up here and stir up something good with the players that he's got? We just don't know, but that's what he's paid to do, and I have put full trust in him.
Yeah, I mean, it's good points. And obviously, we do have to bear in mind that we still have Anthony Martial. All right, hot and cold, I know that, but he is still our player, right? And he is capable when he's on it, when he wants to do it. We know he's capable. Okay, we discussed Marcus Rashford earlier on. He's going to have a different role, no doubt, there on the left-hand side. But what I want to ask now is the question is, okay, how does this affect the kind of formation that Ten Hag would be going for if we don't have a out-and-out striker? Is he going to look for a different formation? Would he stick to the 4-3-3, or would he go for something like a diamond or the 4-2? Well, he can't go for 4-2-3-1 because there's no striker. But what kind of system? How would this affect his system? Ten Hag, do you think?
Would he still not play a 4-2-3-1 even if he hadn't got a striker, with Donny playing behind Bruno?
Yeah, I mean, it's a possibility, but I mean, I'm kind of leaning towards more that he would probably go for more of a. He may actually go for a diamond shape, the 4-3-3 diamond.
I'm thinking 4-3-3 that goes into a diamond, because if you've got Bruno playing up top as a false nine, he's going to drop back in to create that diamond midfield. And then if you've got, say, Rashford and Sancho either wing, you'll get them coming inside. Very similar to how Liverpool offensively play, where they have Firmino drop deep and then Mane and Salah come very inside and play very narrow.
Yeah.
Can I just add to that as well?
Yeah, go on, OMONDI.
Sorry. Yeah, I do agree. I think, look, if you're playing these sort of ball-playing players or midfielders running from deep, that kind of thing, you're going to be playing a lot of the time in front of teams. So that's the most important thing, is to keep possession of the ball. These wide men are going to be very important, I believe, as well in these sort of positions. They're the ones who likely score the goals. As you see with Liverpool, they've got Salah and Mane, used to have Mane, who would be in those positions in the half spaces in between the centre-back and the full-back, exploiting that position, stretching teams and getting in on goal and scoring goals. And these guys are scoring goals like centre-forwards used to score goals. So that's so we need to sort of really focus now on getting wide players like that who are going to score goals. And that's the most important thing, because if we are going to change our system, they're going to be very important. And Matt is making a great point about these players coming deep. Like Firmino gave a great demonstration there about Firmino, how effective he is, because he came as a number 10 when he was in Germany, and he got adapted to someone. So you draw in players out as a defender. Do I go with him? I go with him. Suddenly you got two wingers coming in the half spaces, and it's chaos, absolute chaos. So it can work. But I also think that you do need sometimes, because we're talking about Eriksen and Donny van der Beek and Bruno and things, but you do need pace to get in behind teams, because otherwise I can just see us pop, playing the ball in front of teams all the time and trying to create chances. But I don't think Rashford's that guy. Rashford does well breaking in the space in behind defenders, but I don't like Rashford anymore, as in no disrespect to him, but I think he's had his opportunity. But I just would like to get a nice pacey striker, someone who could run the channels, do a bit of everything, if we are going to get another striker in. If not, we might have struggles breaking teams down if we're just playing in front of them. You need that element of pace sometimes, especially in the Prem, just to get in behind.
Yeah.
I was talking before with Airman Bill Baggio in the comments, and about Erik Ten Hag and his formations and how he likes to play systems. And he says, Pat, forget about this 4-2-3-1 and 4-3-3. This is nothing about what this Erik Ten Hag fella is about. He says, Pat, we'll get the ball and all of a sudden we'll go forward. And we might be set up in a 4-2-3-1 shape, but all of a sudden, what Eric was telling, Erik Ten Hag wasn't telling me, what Airman Bill, Bill, we may as well call him Bill Ten Hag because he's a fountain of knowledge, that man is, right? But what he was telling me was, he says, Pat, our formation is, if we play such a high pressing football, we could change from a 3-2-5 and just smother the other team. He was telling me that we go into a 3-3-4. So, Amondi, you'll probably explain this to me better, but the way he was explaining to me was, do you really need a striker for this? Is this why he played? And a very good point of what Matt said earlier on. Is this why he played with Tadic up front? Because he didn't need an out-and-out number 9. It was the system that he played to suit the players that he had. And it's not all running down the line and crossing the ball in. It's all about getting the ball progressively moving forward and smothering the other team like a game of chess, like we spoke about yesterday. So I don't know what you guys think about that. So maybe a Ronaldo-type player may not be needed as much as we all love a Ronaldo-type player.
Look, I think it's about, obviously, we say formations. Formations change throughout the game. So when we have got the ball and we're camping a team in their half, hopefully that's what we're going to see next season, and they can't get out and we're suffocating them, and every time they do break and get the ball, we hit them on the press again and turn it over and keep turning it over and wear teams down. We see that with City. We might see a variation of that under Ten Hag as well. So like you said, so it could be 2 centre-backs just sitting there. You can have the rest defence, as Bath-Time likes to use, with a centre midfielder. Well, yeah, it was true that this is how it would work with centre midfielder, just in case, sitting there, just in case there is a counter and they do get far, and then it would be even a 3-on-3 in that situation. If they're breaking on us, is manageable, you know. So and then you get the fullbacks pushing up high, and then you suffocate teams like that. So that is an option as well, and we could see players like midfielders like Bruno and Donny van de Beek just getting enough service in the box and burying their chances, you know, and playing 1-2s around the box. I remember Donny van de Beek, what I really loved about his game, you play a ball into his feet, he's already looked, you know, you see that goal, York and Cole against Barcelona in 99, where Quickeen played it to York. York had a little look, knew the ball, let go for his leg. That's how Donny plays. So little intricate plays like that in the box would be beautiful for us. And it makes a change from this bombing down the wing, everything else. Everything's going to change. And like I say, we can sit here and talk about it as much as we want, but it comes down to the man with the coaching manual, and that is Ten Hag. And as you said, great watch there by Pat Lawless to remind us that he has played like that before. Obviously, he's stolen that from Bill Ten Hag, but still, it remains. He's proven this before. So you can't say, oh, there's no evidence for mixing up systems. We saw what Oli Solskjaer did when we had needed a point away at RB or something in the Champions League, and he goes to a back 5. And it's like, well, why are you doing that? Just stick to what you know, because you haven't got experience doing this. But we know, as you're demonstrating here, Ten Hag's got experience of playing different systems and with and without the ball, and he will drill it into them right now. These players are at home right now, even though they're not training at this minute. They're doing their homework, knowing that, my gosh, I've got a lot to take in here, and I've got to get this right. So in Ten Hag, I trust, and in Bill Ten Hag as well, I trust, because he knows a lot too.
I just want to say that also, look, if worst comes to the worst, we do lose Ronaldo, we don't get anybody else in. Look, do we really need to be that worried? Because look, this is Ten Hag's first season, it's his first window. You know, we're not expecting a major trophy haul in his first season. Do you know what I mean? We've got to go, hold on. Let's just cool your jets, folks. Let's just give Ten Hag his first season with or without a striker. He'll do what he needs to do in order to get through that season and do his best to get us into the top 4, no doubt, and a good cup run. And also the fact that we mentioned earlier that maybe that the Europa League could be our backdoor entrance into the Champions League. So there is always that option as well. But it is his first window. You know, it's not the end of the world if we can't get a striker, in my opinion. Yes, there are other targets and everything else. So, you know what? Look, it is what it is. I think we need to move on from this. Do you want to go through some comments on Monday?
I have highlighted a few comments. Just a few, because there's so much conversation going on. It's going to take a long time to go through. But I'll just do some randoms. I just want to say hi to Gunnar Gumza. He's back again. I think halfly to mock us. He doesn't usually come on the show, but he thinks this is bad news. It could we'll see next season. But big up to Gunnar Gumza. He's on the Armory TV, one of our sister channels. And if you're an Arsenal fan, I suggest you go and check them out. They had a 1-year anniversary the other day. Bath Time's in the house. Rob Newman's in the house. He's saying, looks like De Jong's a done deal. We get onto that later. I'm sure we will. I just want to talk about Ronaldo, the comments about Ronaldo. Bath Time saying, I'm a bit worried. Ronaldo might force a move to Chelsea on deadline day if no other Champions League club comes in. That's an interesting one. I want to say hi to Adesh. Said, don't think Barca, this is again, I don't think so. Barca just waited to fix their finances. They have now done so. They don't need to sell De Jong, and De Jong is loved by Barca coach and Cruyff Laporte advisor. So that's a bit of doubt there. Eddie's in the house as well. Vincent saying, Mr. Wright, to keep up, he's got down nose out of the business. You're trying to cost us. Why don't you tell the truth? Like you really is fools. I really hate. Oh God, he's going off right there. I can't keep up with that. Eddie's saying United maybe making another player stay when he's likely to leave. The same old. I want to say hi to Joan of Arc again. How you doing? He says De Jong was never coming. We still don't know about that. Bath Time, I have faith in. He's saying he will. Joan of Arc is also saying he's 37 and past it. Obviously referring to Ronaldo. But that's countered by Kay Slater. Well done, Kay Slater. Says he's not at his best, but 18 goals in the Premiership ain't past it. That's a good argument. They're going back and forth in the comments. Just want to say hi to Ant Project. Says CR is leaving, end of. I want to say hi to Paddy as well. So let him go and respect his wishes, as it was unexpected that he came in the first place. Returning after all those past glories can't be replicated. Ola Kunle's here as well. So can't wait to burst out laughing. Chelsea announcing a double signing of De Jong and Ronaldo. Omondi CR37 can't press. More importantly, he won't. That's a slap in the face for me. Bath Times here confirming that Ronaldo is leaving. I want to say hi to Imran. Imran saying a mirror tweet, and also Imran saying Mullock tweet. Rebel saying, what is he saying, Imran? Imran's repeating it now. He's saying Ten Hag wants Anthony to replace Ronaldo. I don't know if that's a light, but that's interesting there. Just going through any new faces, not really. We got Bub saying amen and God bless you too. Hey, Bub, nice to see you again.
We're going to need it.
Yep. Yeah. And Rob Newman as well. I want to say hi to Alpha Eagle. I haven't seen you on the channel before, but welcome. We always give people a warm welcome when they're new. Alpha Eagle saying, as much as it hurt me for Ronaldo to leave, it would be best for him to leave by the time Eric rebuilding team. Ronaldo will be old and at the end of his career. So by the time Eric rebuilds his team, Ronaldo will be out of here. So that's a good statement there. Matata, how you doing? Sad, say hello, everybody. And Box is here as well. Box is suggesting that McNeil could be the new number 9, which I like the sound of. And another newbie here, Kanziri or Ronald says seriously, not coming to United. And I'm going to leave it there so we can continue just before we go to Ewan. Owen. Almost. I keep butchering the name and I apologize. Last comment from me, by the way, saying he signed 2 years ago, 2-year deal for which we are getting very well rewarded. Spursy Steve is also here. Makoku, is that the next championship manager player? Makuku? Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Yeah, we should sign him, Makuku. Anyone who knows about championship manager would know that's a great player. And Spursy Steve saying Ronaldo's elite, demands elite, massive problem for Man United. Hi as well to Abba.
Evening.
That's from, thank you, sorry for
There's a comment there by Vincent at the very end. Amandi, if you want to just read that. I don't know if it's
true.
Yeah,
certainly. Vincent, I didn't read your previous comment was very angry. But you're saying here, hi, Eric Ten Hag. It's called an emergency board meeting over the exit bombshell of Ronaldo today. If that's news, wow. That is breaking news. We heard it here first. Sorry, so here we go. Tom McCullough. That's the one. Bath Time knows what I'm talking about. If you're a championship manager expert like me, and connoisseur, then you would know that Tonton was the guy for goals.
Excellent. Well, look, I mean, if that's right, what Vincent's just dropped in for us, folks, then yeah, there's real weight to this this room, and that would make me think that there's more chance of this happening than it not. And again, yeah, I'll be a bit disappointed. But you know what? We have to move on as a club.
Just in the club will ramp up their interest in Anthony now from Ajax.
Oh, yeah. I think they will, Matthew. But one thing I was going to touch on was, I'd say Erik ten Hag has a list of replacements for every single player for every position already given to the club. So he's like, when you hear of an emergency situation, we're going to have this. He's going to walk in and go, lads, you see them 3 or 4 players I want, right? Get the show on the road. You've got 10 days before my first training session. And one of them could be a Malacia type player that might completely shock us. And I love hearing about them kind of signs. Love hearing about them. You know?
Good shout.
I'd be happy if we got filled with 5 or 6 of them type players this year. Because listen, lads, like if we got Champions League football next year, I'd be absolutely shocked. I'd fall off the chair. So, like, we're a team in transition. So yeah. I'm hoping that we do well next year. I'm not hoping for us to finish 6th, but we're going to have to be patient.
Of course. And sorry, Pat. That's a great point, and I made that point myself like weeks ago when with Mr. B on the takeaway when I said to him, "Look, you know, all I expect from Erik ten Hag first season, keep us in the Premier League, have a good cup run." Mr. B went mad. You know what I mean? Because it was, you know, but at the end of the day, that's all we can expect. Better football, a better brand of football, an identity, and everything else. But look, in terms of this Ronaldo thing, we need to just move on from this now because we've got to go on to another subject. But it was an interesting conversation, and we will, folks, what we will do is, if anything ever does move forward with this, in terms of, you know, Ronaldo actually, it's been reported that he has actually left, or it's going to happen, we will come back to you and let you know. But the other news as well that we were kind of made aware of today by certain journalists is Frenkie de Jong. And apparently it says, Barcelona president says the club has no intention of selling Frenkie de Jong. Barcelona were widely reported to be almost pushing de Jong out of the door this summer as they aim to balance their books amidst a financial crisis that has reached epic proportions. But as quoted by reporter Reshad Rahman, Laporta has now said he will do everything in his power to get the 25-year-old to stay. I'm going to do everything I can in my power so that Frenkie stays. This is what Laporta's saying. But there's also a salary issue that would have to be adjusted, Laporta said, as per Rahman's tweet. Frenkie is considered as one of the best midfielders in the world by all the experts. We are happy to have him. There are clubs that want him, not just United. We have no intention of selling him. He wants to stay. Now then, the first question I'm going to ask you is around the comment about the salary. So it says, but there are also salary issues, and that would have to be adjusted. Okay, so my question is, does that entail possibly Frenkie de Jong taking a wage cut to stay? Is that something that he would consider? Do you think that's a possibility?
Yeah, can I just? Yeah, I think. Don't quote me on this. I'll just go into my memory banks. I think there's something to do if he stays. He would have to sort of get an increase or something like that with his wage. I don't know how true it is. Maybe some experts in the comments will be able to talk about that. But let me just say this about we are fighting all this way to get this deal done. We're working our butts off to get this deal done. He's our number one signing. He's someone we need to sign, and it will sort of really sort of uplift the whole fans and uplift the management team as well. They realise how effective he will be for our club. I just think it's another statement from Barca to save face, because they don't want to turn around and say, maybe we don't know what it's like in Spain, but right now in Spain, it could be like, look at the mess we're in. We have to sell, look how we're talking about Ronaldo. We have to sell some top players, and we're Barcelona. You know, so the media for Barcelona will have to come out and say some statements like this to make it look or make it seem like, hold on a minute, we're Barcelona. We're not giving away our players. You know, don't worry, fans. We're not in that much of a mess, when really we know that they probably are. Because otherwise they wouldn't even consider selling a 25-year-old player in his pomp. You know, someone they bought who loves the club, who obviously is trying to get into the side and develop there. But last season he wasn't happy. He was getting subbed after 60 minutes a million times, and they've got a lot of youngsters coming through as well. So he is seen as the one player that they can release. One, because he's on big wages, and two, because they can get the most money for him. If you compare that to everyone else in their squad, and they have to register other players as well. So all these statements coming out last minute, I just think it's there to sort of save face for Barcelona. That's my opinion on it. I think the deal's still going to go ahead, and I'm not too concerned about this.
What do you make of that, Matty?
Oh, listen, I'm with them. I think this deal will go ahead. With this, we know Barca want Rafinha and Lewandowski. I think they're just doing it to get us to hurry up. They're trying to push De Jong out the door without pushing him out the door. I mean,
Yes.
they've got Pedro and Gavi who come up through. Is it called La Masia, the youth academy? Yeah,
Yes.
they've got them to up. Those two seem to be the favourite too. You know, the new Xavi and Iniestas have been labelled. They've brought Kessie in January as a free agent. But got him in January as a free agent. Now he's recently coming on. I don't know if they've signed him off yet. I know that they had to register him for La Liga, and there was a few financial issues with that because there was quite a few players that they had issues with when it comes to registering players. Sergio Roberto, another one. So De Jong's a done deal. I'm not buying any of this. We've heard all year. De Jong's not going anywhere. De Jong's not going anywhere. And yeah, everybody who's closely associated with Barcelona, reporter-wise, Gerard Romero, etc., they want him out. Essentially, the board don't want him there. Xavi might want to keep him, but the board don't want to keep him, and their board are looking at him. If we can get 65 million plus X amount in add-ons and reduce his money off the wage bill, do it. It's a done deal for me.
It sort of makes sense what you say there, Matthew, because you think about what was the first thing you said? What was the first thing you said? Sorry.
About Pedro and Gavi coming from the youth academy.
Yes, that's it. See, you know what I mean, and also the fact that maybe is this a kind of come on, you better hurry up, Man United.
Yeah.
Get a move on, because I'm still a bit miffed as to why it's still kind of not sort of been it's done.
Here's one of the things. Recently, Romano reported Rafinha to Chelsea's almost a done deal. Rafinha is holding out for Barcelona, and Barcelona want him. Barcelona doing this to get Man United to hurry up so they can go sign Rafinha. It's all that little right. You go there so we can get him. It's just a matter of time.
It's true. I agree with Matty. Like, Barcelona are in a mess. Like, they can't even afford to let Dani Alves go at this stage, and he needs replacing. As much as Dani Alves was a fantastic player in his day, like if you were going back to Barcelona 5-6 years ago, he like at the condition he's in now, he would have been turfed straight out of the club. So the standards have dropped massively. So to say they don't need players and they want to keep this and they want to keep that. There's a reason why they haven't got Lewandowski yet. There's a reason why they haven't got Rafinha and he's still being flirted with Chelsea and Arsenal. It's because they don't have the money. And whatever they're going on with, whatever way they're waiting to sort their books or do their month end or something that I don't know anything about, something's gonna drop with Barcelona, and all of a sudden the floodgates gonna open. They're gonna sign a couple of players, and you'll see Frenkie de Jong on a plane over to Manchester United because they're gonna need the money, and that's how it's gonna go. I think it's clear as day.
Yeah, I'm more confident the Frenkie de Jong deal actually happening, to be fair, than I am Ronaldo staying at this moment in time. So that's, that is a positive. And to be fair, I think he is. I'll ask you the question: who's more important to Erik ten Hag's plans here, Frenkie de Jong or Cristiano Ronaldo?
Oh, Frenkie de Jong all day long.
Yes, 100%.
If when Frenkie de Jong comes in, he becomes our most important player because of the way he plays, the way he drops deep. I watch clips of him. He'll drop deep onto the left-hand side of the defence, pick the ball up, progress it forward. It's not only passing; it's the way he carries it in his movement and his vision.
Yeah. I think Amonde has mentioned it earlier before we went live about the relationship with him and Donny van de Beek, for example. What they could do for us in and around the midfield, and even further higher up the pitch as we sort of choke teams and sort of camp out in their half with the movement and the skills and everything. That's loads of permutations as to what can be done by each individual player on that front, which we kind of briefly touched on earlier. But I mean, I am taking this with a large pinch of salt, and it is. I agree with what Amonde said about it's Barcelona, like we're Barcelona, we don't need to sell, and making it look like it's not such a big deal, when actually I think the fact is that it is a big deal for them. 65 million quid in the position they're in right now is a lot of money. Losing how much is on wages? Anybody know what his wages are at the moment currently at Barca?
I think 190. I think it was £190,000 a week. But
Okay.
someone can confirm, yeah.
So that's still, it's going to be a lot of wages. And again, you take that off the wage. So what you're basically doing, you're taking that wage off the wage bill, inflating the money you've got to spend, and also the transfer fee on top of that, and X of add-ons, which can be used for future planning, because that money's not yet there yet. But you're going to sort of bank on that going forward in the future. The fact that they've got, as Matthew said, Pedri and Gavi coming through the youth system and etc. Look, for me, this will happen for us, for Frenkie de Jong. There's no two ways about that. So I'm not overly concerned about it, if I'm honest. And if anybody got anything else to add about the Frenkie de Jong?
No, I think it's just up to Barcelona now at the moment, because every time we seem to get positive updates from good source and Fabrizio Romano to say that everything's agreed, everything's kosher. It's just taking a little bit longer. Was the most recent tweet or Instagram post from Fabrizio said it was image right to add-ons that's slowing down the process, was it?
Yeah, something like that.
So it feels like it's only a matter of time, and the media are trying to twist it any chance they get, especially with Ronaldo talking about leaving Manchester United. Sure, that's just a big stick to beat us with, and that's going to happen. And that's going to happen all the way up till the end of the transfer market. So we're going to have days like this where all of a sudden we're on a high, we sign Malacia, and then the next day it's the end of the world. But by 12 o'clock tonight, it could be a different story all over again. So we just keep our chins up. Remember, we have a good coach. This man can play any style of system, and he's going to make it work for us. So I'm happy. I don't know about you.
Will you be happy, and will you have your chin up at 12 midnight if the emergency phone calls again and you have to come on and do a stream?
Yeah.
What's this with you on Monday? Anytime for that.
Anytime. We'll hold you to that, Pat. So keep your phone on. Don't put it on silent, bro. Monday, do you want to go through some comments? I
certainly do, because there's some interesting comments coming through, especially about the Barca situation. We're just going to wind up with Ronaldo. Box is saying it's time to bring in fashion model Dominic Calvin-Llewellyn. Is it Llewellyn or Llewellyn? Middle Eastern tier. YT says, welcome to the channel, first of all. How you doing, bro? Thanks for commenting. He's saying, in all fairness, Ronaldo was amazing last season, but him going now lets our strikers work with Ten Hag from now and not in a year. He was going in a year anyway, so that's a good point. And it's true, it was fantastic. I want to say hi to my little but big brother, Kahinde Zico Forbes. Yes. He says Ronaldo should go to PSG. Obviously, because they can pay his wage, maybe. We discussed that earlier. We rejected that. We said, don't think it's going to happen. But he also says, if not, then we should do a swap deal with Napoli for Ronaldo for Osimhen. But Osimhen's got to worth about 100 million. I don't think Ronaldo's worth that anymore. I don't know how that could work, but maybe that'd be interesting. Uncle T channel. How you doing, Uncle T? Big up all the way from wherever you're from, but welcome. He says, how can you not sign a player for over 2 months, then expect him to sign in 2-3 days before the preseason? No way. And I'm just hate with CR7 news. Okay, he's getting fed up with that. I've highlighted a few more. Just want to say hi to Masoka. I hope I'm not butchering your name, but he's laughing. He's obviously having a ball of a time. That's great. It's entertaining the show. Barca saying a lot of Barca fans incandescent with rage at the financial measures Barca have taken. And there's a little debate going here. You're going to enjoy this, guys, between Bath Time and our own Rebel. Rebel says Barca aren't in financial mess anymore, Amondi. They have a kitchen in order now. So, Steve is saying, try, but I think if Ronaldo goes, top players start to question things. The youth model has done well in Holland. In the Prem, question mark. Bath Time saying, they are in serious trouble. They're in serious trouble, talking about Barcelona, with their unserviceable debt and have mortgaged their TV rights and merchandising with the hope a Super League comes on in the next 5 years. Also added, said they raised about 600 million to service their 1.3 billion pound debt. Rebel, that's that Rebel. So they're going back. Sorry.
Whilst you mentioned, if you just go back to Bath Time's previous comment, now this is something that we was talking about a little while ago about has the Super League actually dead? Has it died? Has it gone away? And I was convinced that no, it hasn't, and it is going to come back in some guise or another. And I think what Bathtam is saying there, I think he's bang on with that. To be fair, I really do.
Bartham's hardly ever wrong, is he? I mean, he always on the money with his points. Just going to finish off. Case later saying Barca sold 10% of the TV rights for the next 25 years for about £267 million, which means they are trying to sort of raise some capital. Ben Wilson, how you doing, man? Welcome to the channel. Says Ronaldo should go to Bayern Munich. Box is saying Barca owe PK money. He's been paying for the teammates' lunches for the last year. So it is a disaster, isn't it? It's like saying they owe 50 million to PK, says Bath.
Yeah, that's right.
Ben again is saying the Glazers will do everything in their power to keep with Cristiano Ronaldo for the branding. And back to Barca, Spursy Steve is saying Barca are a mess, but the recent statement by Laporte is either bravado, or they found a way around it. So it's interesting that it's still a hot topic in the comments. I want to say hi to Leona Locke. Says, I thought De Jong had already agreed to join United. I'm 85% sure that he will. And yeah, just want to say hi to this young man. He says, no way De Jong will be signed next week. Makes no sense. Their president coming today saying not for sale, then sell him in 3 to 4 or 5 days, is saying here. So I'm sorry, I can't pronounce your name. Nikoch. Yeah. But welcome to the channel, Nikoch. Nice to see you in there.
Like, are you from Greece? Is that a Greek name, possibly?
I'm not sure. Laporte is a fraud, says Red Devil Studio. Big up Red Devil Studio. I've been watching your shows lately, top channel. And Kanzari Ronaldo says, who's the target to replace? Okay, who's target to replace Ronaldo? I'm going to leave it there because there's so many more. I can't touch on everything.
Yeah, well, look, I'm just going to look to sort of move to any other business in a moment. But before I do that, I just want to mention something else that we did mention earlier, which is, yes, the Man United Agenda are starting our own fantasy football league. There's the code. It's going to be hosted by Rebel and possibly, I think, Pat, are you going to be involved in it as well?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, Pat will be involved in it. I think there's going to be some other folks as well who are going to be involved in it. I know nothing about it, if I'm honest with you. I'll have to learn from the insiders to give me a heads up. On Monday, are you going to be involved on Monday?
I'm not going to be involved, but I will be watching on, and I will be tuning into the shows as well, because I can see it being really exciting, because it's not only the shows will be like discussing all clubs and all players. So say someone has got a player from Brighton and they get injured for next week, they can say, oh, this guy's out for the next couple of weeks, maybe you should sub him or transfer him for someone else. And I'll take that information, say, okay, who are we playing next? We got Brighton. All right, maybe we can win this game. You see what I'm saying? So there's so much to learn about the Premiership based on this fantasy football league, and people get so deep into it that there'll be so much information. There'll be data freaks like Carl O'Connor coming on, who knows his stuff, is full of data, full of information, and I think I enjoy listening to these guys go at it.
Matty, are you going to be get involved in the fantasy football league?
No chance. I know nothing about fantasy football league, so it's one I'm staying well clear of.
Matty, if I can get my father to play it, you can get him play it. It's not that difficult, I swear. And once you get into it, it gets addictive, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, there you go, folks. So listen, there it is. It's there for you. There's the code. Go to the website, the Fantasy Premier League website. Pop in our code there, and you can join our league. And whoever does win the league will be getting a trophy engraved. So there will be a prize for the winner. So you know you're not just doing it for no reason. And it will be ultra competitive, I'm sure, as we will keep keeping track of it, week by week, to see who's on the lead, in the lead and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, definitely get involved in that. And also there will be the preseason starting, as we know, very soon on the 12th. We will have a watch along for that. So if you want to come and join us for the live watch along of Manchester United taking on Liverpool in a not so friendly, because it can never be a friendly, and just it's Erik ten Hag's first sort of competitive game as manager, which is going to be great to watch and see what changes have already been implemented and what the team have taken on board and everything else. So I'm excited about that. So if you want to join us for that, do so. Hit the subscribe button and the like button if you are new. Also hit the notification bell, because that will make you aware of when we are going live, etc. And so what I'm going to do now is on Monday, I'm just going to move on to any other business. Is there any other business you want to discuss? Has anybody got anything else that's just sort of popped up on Twitter from Fabrizio Romano or anything like that they need to get off the chest?
Well, I haven't got any access to any sort of handheld mobile devices or anything like that to look. But what I would say is that this is sending shockwaves around football right now. It's a big talking point, isn't it, about Ronaldo and about Frenkie de Jong. And it seems like we have our ups and downs, but I'm staying level-headed with all this, and I advise everyone else out there to stay level-headed. If Ronaldo leaves, just keep calm, stay calm. If Frenkie de Jong signs next week, be delighted, because that is the most important transfer out there. The most important transfer for me was the manager, but Frenkie de Jong is the first piece in the puzzle. I think as a coach, you're going to see the manager, the coach, head coach, do his work and bring in these youngsters, and these youngsters have still got opportunity. If one player goes, whether that be Ronaldo or someone else, it gives opportunity for someone else to come in and show that they can step up. So good luck to all you youngsters. There's a window of opportunity here for you to show your talent on pre-season tour, which we will be covering soon.
Yeah, well said. Matthew or Pat, you got any other business before we wrap this up?
No, nothing really. I would just say to my life fans, just stay calm outside the transfer window. We will get deals done. Now, don't lose your head because we've had this bit of bad news today where Ronaldo's leaving and we might possibly not get the Young, which I suspect there's nothing in that anyway.
Yeah.
Just stay calm.
That's what I just want to reiterate what I said earlier on, which is, look, this is Erik ten Hag's first season. Okay, it's his first transfer window. There's many more transfer windows to come, and we're not expecting, a haul of trophies in his first season. You know what I mean? We're just expecting an identity for the team, a brand of football that we can all be proud of and get behind and, enjoy watching. That's the first port of call, in my opinion. So let's not panic. OMONDI hit the nail on the head. Matty hit the nail on the head, and I'm sure Pat is going to concur on that point.
Totally agree, lads. It looks like we're at the final stages of the Martinez deal as well. I think Ajax have put their cards on the table and said, we're looking for 50 million. If you want to give us 50 million, he's your player. So I think Man United could be just weighing up the pros and the cons of the kind of money that Ajax are looking for Anthony. They're looking for Martinez. And there's the lads were texting in the group chat earlier saying that there's a possibility that Eric's looking for 300 grand a week to come and play for Manchester United. I think I find that hard to believe, because only a couple of days ago it was a toss-up between Manchester United and Brentford, and he's not going to get 300 grand a week playing for Brentford. I can assure you that.
That's ridiculous. I mean, 150k to come and play for one of, if not the biggest club in the world, right? Definitely the biggest club in England. There's no way. Come on, it's a no-brainer for me.
He's probably talking about getting paid monthly.
Mate, honestly.
Anyways, look, lads, I really enjoyed the show tonight. Absolutely fantastic. And thanks to everybody in the group chat and everybody watching. Make sure you give us a like, share, and subscribe. These are excellent as always.
Yeah, thank you.
While there, Pat or Talk, do you want to read out his comment? I can't pronounce his name, but it's obviously someone I don't recognize and someone new as well. So greetings.
It's Farquhar Lion Trousers III, which is a nice name. A nice name. I like that.
Be that
he says, being a Manc Red since 1973, bro, big up, man. Seen ups and downs, but this feels different. Bago Doodah FC. Now, I think there's a little bit of concern there coming from sorry, I can't remember. He's gone.
Farquhar Lion Trousers III.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of panic there. Listen, bro, Farquhar, I know that's probably not your real name, but it's cool, right? It's all good, bro. Don't worry, it's all good. We will get to where we need to be as a club, but we can't expect it in the first season of Erik ten Hag's reign. You know what I mean? So it's all good. Rebels here saying Sky Sports News reported that was the offer put to him, Pat.
Is that Ericsson? Oh, that's Ericsson. Okay.
Yeah, okay. And Nikok, he didn't answer my question if he's from Greece. It looks like maybe a Greece name. He says, club thing, Ten Hag is a magician that will transform toxic and malfunction team into world beaters while not backed in the transfer market. They may as well appoint David Copperfield.
I like this guy already.
Nikok, subscribe. I like that.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, big up to you.
Another one.
Yeah, big up, man. Welcome to the channel.
Excellent.
FLT the third, we're going to have to call him.
Yes, it's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? And we've got somebody else, which is just 3 uppy arrow pointy things, which says De Jong is staying at Barca. Just accept it. Ooh, okay.
We can't just yet. There's still hope.
And K. Mbappe, Malacia will do his medical Sunday and sign the contract soon for Fabrizio, as said. So yeah, that's all great stuff. So you know what?
Every cloud has a silver lining. There
Exactly.
we go.
Yeah.
That's it, lads.
You know what I mean? So we're happy. But listen, folks. Yeah, remember the Fantasy Football League. Remember to please, if you are new, to hit the subscribe button and the like button. Don't forget about the watch along. And more importantly than that, stay calm and stay united. We're out of here. Ciao.